Oh man, sometimes it's so hard to be. Oh man, sometimes you just gotta be funny. You're just gonna be funny online, and it's gonna be. You just laugh. Woo! Oh man, I got the giggles. I got the giggles from things. Good lord. Whew, man. Got the giggles. Okay. What up, guys? Hope you're all doing well. I saw the funnies and I lost my train of thought. Oh shit, I need to do something real quick. Whew. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, App Armor, based App Armor, and understanding App Armor is also pretty based. But we'll look at this in a bit. Huh. Boom, 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 boom. Do, 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 do. What's up, Uncommon Sense? From the land down under? From the land down under. Da-na-na-na-na-na. Impact, that seemed like a cool site. Ooh. There's an onion site. Wait, I'm on the onion site. I've been playing with Secure Blue, building a dev environment all day. Gonna probably make full switch. Yeah, I didn't really like Secure Blue. Did you sleep yet? Billy asking the real questions. Tour time? You know, like Tim the Toolman Taylor? I'm Tor the Toolman Tails OS user. Yeah. Let's go with that one. I will say, though, is it still doing it? It's so weird. It's weird. I get this really strange error with my media server. It's not using all the RAM though. It's capping out at 9 gigs. Maybe it's so strange. I get a sysdat collect service failed to spawn executor input output error. And this was causing my server to crash. And after switching it's the feds. Am I the one AI guy? Tool time with the tool man Tim Taylor. Yep. And that one oh yeah, I forgot about Al. I wish it was the feds that were fucking up my server. But it's a fucking input output error. Would you use Secure Blue? Probably not. Not full time. I love Home Improvements. Home Improvements was pretty funny. Did the screen arrive yet? No, dude. Oh my god. Why not? Because Secure Blue is too restrictive, and if you break any of the security posture, you're essentially achieving nothing. That's like the first problem. So if I'm going out of my way to break the security posture, I'm not really achieving anything. So I'd rather just use CubesOS because I think it achieves the maximum amount of security where I can make fuck ups and break the posture in a sense when it comes to like the virtual machine itself. But with SecureBlue, if I'm breaking security posture like in Hunix or even if I'm breaking like adding a root profile or I can't access something for XYZ, then essentially I'm not really achieving anything. And no, the screen didn't fucking arrive. I want to find the fucking shipping people and fight them with my feet. Even at like I think KickSecure's approach of having no root account and its ability to do system changes, is relatively the best. Like on my main desktop, I run Void. I have a root user. I didn't harden my system, and I didn't do anything different because I like freedom at the end of the day, and I think freedom's important. Because I think Linux users should be able to pick what they want and do what they want with their system. That's like the whole like GNU philosophy. What I don't like is my laptop being insecure because I have it in public places more, and I do as a Cubes user. I have a lot of root users. Each cube has its own root users. Yes, but that's different, and you can actually set it up in a way where it doesn't have a root user. CubesOS allows isolation from the host, so like this is essentially why it's quote unquote better. But you can set it up. But you hosted Cyberbunker. You don't need additional hardening. Yeah, I have a lot of self-hosted services, but I don't necessarily disagree with a lot of insecure Linux distros that get put out there. Frank, the tour guy, Skyline, am I right? True. Self-host. Yeah, sounds like an alien. That's true. It does. I think, self-hosting doesn't really fix your security posture because if you're not securing your systems and it has a vulnerability, you're kind of fucked. Just because it's all local doesn't mean that it can't be affected by, there are things on my network that have to touch the internet. So that's the first problem. The second problem is the simple fact that when you self-host, you're taking on a huge amount of risk versus reward. Zen hypervisor? Zen Zoophile hypervisor. So CubesOS, you can actually set up all your accounts with no root user, and you could even increase the security posture of each cube depending on like your threat model. That's what gives CubesOS its like superior, in a sense, fuck around, find out kind of moment. But self-hosting doesn't mitigate any security threats. I mean, if you have a compromised machine on your local area network, and stuff can laterally move through your network. Most of your self-hosted applications aren't using HTTPS, so those could become compromised. You really have to lock down your network and understand how to secure your network in the fourth mode, and you can do it in a couple ways. You can do ACL rules, which prevent people always bring up firewall, but understanding routing policies and understanding how to do VLANs properly prevent pretty much a lot of oopsie daisies. And the thing is, there's this like myth that like VLANing can't be compromised. There have been definitely instances where VLANs can, malware or a threat actor can laterally move through your network and jump to another VLAN. VLAN hopping is a real thing. No, virtual landing is good, but virtual LAN hopping is very, very obtainable, especially if you don't have good routing policies. This is why ACL routing policies are super important. Phone to extend warranty. I installed Pegasus on my phone to extend the warranty. You should don't forget that get that call on your extended warranty. Is virtual LAN hopping impossible. I mean, is it less likely? Yeah, but like it definitely does happen. This is why you should understand your router and go into your router and understand how to write good policies on how to prevent certain stuff to not even interact, even if it jumps up. Say like you have like something that jumps from one VLAN to another, you could essentially do it where only these machines can interact with this MAC address. So that could tighten the security down. You could put stuff in demilitarized zones, even though that's not really a thing on a like a lot of consumer hardware. But you could make it where it's MAC address agnostic, where it knows only these certain MAC addresses can interact with this machine. And then on your main machine, like your one that you interact probably with the internet the most, you could set it up where it only has directions of traffic going one way traffic. I mean, ACL policies are kind of like a huge, complicated topic. Understanding how to like if you lock down your entire network, you could theoretically become very VLAN's good kids whitelist. Oh, good IDs and whitelist. Yeah, VLANs are good. I'm not saying they're not good. I just think people just stop there and they don't understand how to write good ACLs policies. Where is it? Lawrence Systems has a really good videos on it. The network access control list is pretty based, but I mean, there's actually even something else. I can't remember. There's a really cool tool that helps you build like a good and not just good ACL policies, good threat detection. This is something that's also like super underrated. Logs, threat detection, and monitoring. That could kill. That could help with a ton of stuff. Knowing when a threat comes in and monitoring it is awesome. I know a lot of people go to Fail to Ban and think Fail to Ban is like this fucking amazing tool, when in reality it's really not. There are better options out there. There's something called CrowdSec. This is actually something you can set up. Really easy, even though you shouldn't expose stuff to the internet. But if you do, this is a good way to actually, it's like way better. It's way better than Fail to Ban. Snap. Reload. Oopsies. So if anyone said anything, I can't hear them. I can't see it. Don't forget, configure Pi-hole. Yes and no. I mean, having your own DNS server and running your own authoritative DNS server, from what I understand, is a way to help from anyone doing a man-in-the-middle attack with DNSSEC, I think, to prevent any forgery. But Pi-hole is good because it just prevents you from going to malicious sites, and because you can set up like this and ad blocking, etc. But CrowdSec is beautiful. And it's crowdsourced. Because the problem is, one of the big problems with blocking IP addresses, threat actors can just fucking change their IP address, or they can buy them. They can buy proxies, or they can be part of a botnet. You'd be blocking like 90% of the countries. They can just constantly rotate it. I mean, should you block some countries? Yes. Like, should you block some countries where it makes it a little bit more difficult, but it's not much. You're honestly better off knowing what's CrowdSec. So CrowdSec is like Fail to Ban. It's a It's an intrusion prevention. I think it's called an IDC intrusion prevention. Something. What's the word I'm looking for? It pretty much is an IDS, intrusion detection service, and then IPS, which is an intrusion prevention service. I could be using the words wrong, but it has a community block list. It's an IDS, IPS. Yeah, okay, I was right. And a wireless, I think, firewall, something WAF, like a WAF. I forget what WAF stands for. Okay, so I'm not tripping balls. It is an intrusion prevention system, and it's pretty sick. Tor dot. Yeah, you should always put the dot for Tor. It's self-hostable. It does alerting and monitoring, and it's pretty based. Yeah, it's wait, the fuck was what did WAF stand for? I think it's a it offers both infrastructure protection and application security. WAF capabilities. I think it's an application firewall. So threat actor, good actor, web services, blah blah blah. You have in-band rules, out-of-band rules. It's pretty sick. It sits in front of your reverse proxy. You can self-host it. It's not that hard, and then you can learn how to write policies. And a lot of it is kind of like automated. There's some automation in it, and it's under an MIT license, which is based. It also detects behavior based on analyzing source and HTTP requests. If you have like any firewall at home that does this, it's the same thing. So UniFi is pretty big on it used to be really not good from what I understand. I only use UniFi because it's just the easiest. I've looked at OpenSense, I've looked at pfSense, I've looked at Fortnite, I've looked at Aruba, MikroTik, all the motherfuckers under the sun. And none of them do anything. I gotta go. Keep up the good work. Thanks. Appreciate it, man. Have fun in Kangaroo Town. You're installing Bluefin? What the fuck's Bluefin? Emacs? Emacs gay? You can't use Emacs in CubesOS. It's actually illegal. What the fuck is Bluefin? Oh yeah, I installed Emacs in my NetBase. Check it out, pretty cool stuff. Bluefin, decentralized finance ecosystem. Oh, Fedora Bluefin. I was like, what the fuck? Is code becoming a crypto bro? Notify Me hasn't even notified me about the live stream start. I think there's something wrong with my YouTube notification system. It's immutable for Fedora, specific for programming. Never mind, I'm out. We can look at this. Let's try it out. But is it really immutable? That's the real question. And there's dinosaurs on it. I'm gonna have to download this over. Weekly active users, only 2 people using it. It does have dinosaurs, kind of base though. Wow, they don't have. Wow. They don't have a Tor site? Disrespectful. Wow, base, actually. I do want to get. Why do Linux distros always create merch? I'm not against it, though. I always like buying a super polished desktop. It most likely uses X-free86 while Xorg forked off with how many dinosaurs there are. But the real question, is it mutable? Is it though? Is it super polished? How come Tor site work and no? Where Tor site? That's the real question. Where are the Tor sites? We're getting there. We're looking at an immutable Fedora distro. Wyclept. The Tor sites are coming. Oh, designed for cloud native development with Kubernetes mentioned, guys? They're on I2P only. Wow, based actually. So it utilizes the Bazaar App Store, allowing for easy installation and management of all of your favorite applications from FlatHub. Huh. Interesting. Where can I download this shit? No? No blue? How come I can visit on the Tor site, on Onion site, but no, why the fuck would I buy? Why would I buy soap from these motherfuckers? The journal based a jigsaw puzzle. This is just random shit. It's so weird. They're like, guys, get a glass cutting board of a dinosaur, and don't forget to wash your hands. I do want the Bluefin selling sells backpacks. I mean, dinosaur backpack based. Respect. Imagine your kids showing up with a Bluefin Linux backpack to school. And if it's in America, then they get shot. I low-key want a hoodie, though. I always liked supporting the hoodie scene. SC Linux backpacks win? Yeah, true. No, it should be App Armor because it's a backpack. That would be triple digit IQ moment. Wow. Poop brown and gray. It's got a little dinosaur on it. I don't like when they don't show the back. It kind of annoys me. Because it's like, you don't got a cool design? Not App Armor. It would be Pack Armor. Is Pack Armor a real thing? Guys, Where's a poll? Can I do a poll here? Do I make my own backpack company that's open store? Yeah, I can do a poll. Make open source backpack called Pack Armor. Other than SE Linux and AppArmor? Yes, no? Make open source backpack. Ah, damn it. Okay. Looks cool, so let's see. Is Bluefin for you? Bluefin is the next generation Linux desktop. Like, in their mother's life is fucking using Smack. Most other LSMs in the Linux kernel kind of just exist. Like, in the mother's life is fucking using Smack. We love using Smack. Who uses the word Smack anymore? What are you, like, 50? Wyclef's age confirmed. Old. Before you begin, Bluefin is designed for people who do not want to care about their computer. For Digital users, offers a fresh start despite the dinosaurs. I'm guessing the only other relevant LSM worth mentioning is Landlock. Oh, which isn't really like AppArmor or SE Linux. It's meant to more suited towards sandboxing. Have you gotten Landlock to work? Is it even usable now? GLP versus ZeroBSD versus MIT versus CC0 license in terms of freedom? MIT. I'm just an MIT enjoyer, man. Landlock works fine. Okay. I've never used it. I did experiment with it using some wrappers. CC0 is public domain license, though. Or, well, don't know what to call them. Oh, there we go. Installation. Please do not send your loved ones to this page. This rulebook is for experimental users installable for someone else. Secure boot? The fuck is this? As we know, public domain license give more freedom than permissive domains. Interesting. Application hub, zero maintenance, and included GPU drivers. They have a store. Oh, but they don't have a way to try it out. Recommended. LTS? Oh, that's gonna take fucking forever. Let me just do it here. /J. Can you repost the blog hidden service link in the Discord? It's not done yet because Sam Bent was like, yo, this tool exists called Onion Spray. I might just look into doing that because it looks cool. I have a lot of... Ooh. We'll just delete this. Later, Ghost. Virtual machine. Man, I cannot wait till that screen comes in so I can use CubesOS based. CubesOS, to be honest. Where did I download it again? Oh. Oh my. 4 minutes, okay. Why not deploy hardened BSD cubes instead? Fuck, I misunderstood you. Even Sam Bent watches not have video on it, shows you how big of a streamer he is. No. Ghost BSD. The OS I used to know most of my hardware worked on BSD. True. Still kind of relevant. Can you repost a bot? Is it relevant though? Wycleft? What if Wycleft is just code? Oh shit, they have $1 million dinosaur wallpaper? Shit. True. What if Wycleft and Coder is just the same person? I do actually have a NetBSD cube, but it's HVM because PV and PHV BSD doesn't work on cubes. I wonder why. And they need to tell me why they don't fucking work. I remember, yeah, they don't work in with the Intel Arc GPUs, which is kind of gay. I tried using the Zen 3 DOM-U kernel with PV configuration, but it shuts down immediately after starting. That's just crazy. That your hardware was newer than my laptop, and it has soldered in RAM. Soldered in single DIMM RAM is fucking insane in 2025. Even in 2019 standards, that's fucking crazy. Like, I just want to know if you bought the laptop from fucking Chuck E. Cheese or some shit. From fucking Pee Pee Poo Poo. Wow. The Mr. Beast shitification of the thumbnails. Man. I like when people just do normal thumbnails that are funny. And like the most irrelevant like part of the video. Remember when thumbnails just had that... Remember when thumbnails had the giant circle and the point to it? That was peak. That was peak. How many fucks do you get, and how the fuck do you get a ThinkPad with a soldered RAM? Yeah, that's what I want to know. The T480 has the same RAM config as the T480s, one soldered, one SODIMM, but the T490S just abandoned SODIMM entirely because of slimness. Was your seller fucking evil? How do you get scammed on a ThinkPad? Is what like ThinkPads are like notorious for just being loved, and Linux friendly. Oh, okay, so this downloaded finally. Thanks, ISP. Motherfucker, where is it? Or what if I go to Recents? Bluefin, there we go. Recents, hell yeah. Don't know where you downloaded, but... Detecting? No, nothing detected. Fedora? I wonder if it's Fedora 35? Are we on Fedora, Fedora 40? Fedora Linux 42. Yeah. CubesOS plus Cube's guess. Oh, it's Fedora 43. Damn it. Well, I don't have 43. I'm just going with 42. Tell him to suck it. Damn it, I don't know what I did, but I gotta redo it. It's the chocolate starfish. Gotta get water as you should. Model is above 2019. That's fucking crazy still. I didn't know that. I'm like 90% sure my well, I had a ThinkBook or something. And I was pissed that I had fucking 6 gigs of RAM and the max was like 16. Redacted. Wyclef redacts it because he just admitted he likes Windows in a gay way. I think 50 gigs of RAM is good. 50 gigs of storage is good. Okay. Let's see. And then we'll check out. I can understand having to use Windows, but liking Windows. No, even dinosaur time. I gotta play that meme. Super secure VPN. Oh, well, that's installing, guys. I'm gonna get water as well, as you should too. Do some jumping jacks. You can upgrade RPM Austri with clicking on the system update app list. Okay. Damn. YouTube live stream keep crap. Well, not the live stream, just the fucking page. Back as well. Actually, if you think about it, damn, now I'm gonna have to make it. If you think about it, where is it? What was I saying again? There was something. You can opt in and out of dev mode on OS. Very cool. Torrent Cubes OS ISO. Oh god, that would take forever. I think the first time I downloaded Cubes OS was via torrent because I was like, guys, it's going to be based to torrent stuff. Torrenting is based, and I think I did it over Tor too. And it took fucking forever. I would even say that doesn't torrenting expose your IP address if you don't use a VPN? Yes, because you're peer-to-peer. If you're doing Linux ISOs, it's not a huge deal, or if you're using it over I2P, it's not a huge deal. Well, if you do it over I2P, it doesn't matter. But if you do it over torrenting on Tor is illegal. It's true. Code Lang actually works for Sony directly. He's here to find all the dirty torrenters, so he could serve them DMA strikes and execute them if they don't comply. How do I turn over at I2P? There's a guide, I think, directly on I2P Plus. Believe it's here. So, warning JavaScript is disabled. You gotta like add them, put the URL, make a magnetic link, and then you can, I think this is where you upload. Storage is currently available for downloads. You obviously can configure and set it up, but it's pretty much that. What is the difference between I2P Plus? I2P Plus is kind of like a prettier and more polished version. It's way more robust, if that makes sense. So like yeah, ITP Plus is like a very polished version of it in a sense. Um, you got forums on like how to do it. It's not really hard. So like Cubic Torrent, like a easy way to explain it. Cubic Torrent is essentially just downloading it and then seeding. You don't have to seed. You can leech. You can be a massive leech. But I seed everything I torrent. All Linux ISOs legally, of course. I would never commit crimes against Sony or anyone. That would be bad. They need it. I used to leech. Of course you did, Jay. Unshocked, Jay. Unsurprised. So I actually watched a recent video of Some Ordinary Gamers. I used to seed on public lib citizenship duty. See, you need to seed on public Wi-Fi so that your tax dollars are going towards crimes. Not this. Oh, nice. Not working. Let's see what Postman says. And BT Dig. But essentially, this is what was the original point of I2P is that you can torrent essentially privately. Now there are private torrents, I believe, like private, like even there's even private. What do you call it? Like you know how like there's Pirate Bay and stuff like that, like websites like that. There's private paid versions of that where some require you to seed a certain amount of bandwidth. You seed enough. Like I believe Tor, Pirate Bay used to do this. I don't think they do it anymore. If you seeded and did something else long enough, they would invite you to like pirate this like exclusive exclusive list. I can't remember what it was called, but it was like an exclusive like where you would get like faster torrents or something. I'm not going to show that website. They're going to fucking have a stroke over it. But I remember there being something. Like if you seeded... Let me just look it up. think there was I'm like, I feel like I had a friend in uni studying science. He was afraid to download torrents. I used to torrent Comedy Central shows and put them. Yeah, nothing's gonna happen to you unless you're like doing massive shit. People just fear the torrenting because these like agencies want you to be afraid. But if you do, like, I mean, again, you have to be torrenting. There's what is that guy did? Gears. Oh, I'm not gonna find it on here. God damn it! It was called Gears TV, I think. And this guy had terrible OPSEC. Yes. You want to talk about a fat retard, man. A fucking literal moron making millions of dollars. And I'm like, why the fuck are people paying for this? The owner of what was once called the largest IPTV service called Gears Reloaded this week learned that they'll spend 5.5 years in jail and must forfeit $30 million to pay back the cable TV companies. Bill Omar Cursillo, known as Omni and a Hellcat on YouTube, was once the owner of the popular IPTV series Gears TV, also known as Gears Reloaded. The service offered access to live TV stations starting at $15 a month. At one time, the service had over 100,000 subscribers, bringing $1.5 million every month. What a fucking moron. In 2019, the FBI raided the home and seized a large number of cars and items. Ultimately, he was found guilty of conspiracy, copyright infringement, fraud, money laundering, and tax evasion. Now a judge has ruled that he must give up $30 million in assets, including $6 million in cash, according to Philadelphia. He wasn't doing anything but fucking just pirating shit, and he had like a goofy fucking terrible looking app, and I'm like, who the fuck is paying $15 a month for this? Just do it yourself. Pirating isn't even that hard if you're going to do it. My friend was afraid of downloading malware through torrents. That's like super rare. Like, if you see a fucking file that's like, well, back then at least, if you saw a fucking file that was like 30 gigs and it's like a music, like it's like a fucking Pantera song, yeah, you're getting, it's probably malware. You can just also do it in a virtual machine if you're that scared, or just inspect the file. I mean, you're taking a risk regardless. He was studying computer engineering, so he was cautious, I guess. Maybe he should read a 30 gig Pantera song has to be super high quality. You can study computer engineering and still be retarded, trust me. Yeah, I remember. I2P Plus does have a Raspberry package. I believe so. I believe, yeah, you can use it on Raspberry Pi. I don't see why not. Yeah, shit like this is going to get you in prison because you're evading taxes, really. And making too much money for the government. But I remember this. That's not working. That's not working. There's even ways you can kind of like torrent stuff, like even from just your computer. Like there's so many ways you can do like peer-to-peer sharing. It's pretty cool. I wonder why people need torrenting these days, other than games. I mean, I can give you a million reasons. Torrenting is free. torrenting, well, it's free as in free as in freedom. Torrenting is a protocol, still seeding cubes even though my system can't handle it. Based, Jay, now you are no longer a leech. But you gotta remember, there's countries that getting certain content is illegal, and torrenting, because it's a peer-to-peer system and it's a protocol, this makes it decentralized in its nature. You can't stop protocols, and some of these protocols are built really robust, so countries can't even block them because it's near impossible. True that. I haven't been torrenting since I was a teenager. A lot of people don't really see I guess, like the vibes of it, and I can see why, because we have access to Netflix, we have access to all the like these services that give us like stuff. But in reality, that's not like really true for everyone in the world. And the cool thing about torrenting is it's low resource intensive. You can do it on like really inexpensive PCs. I just go to YAR list and select links from there. What's YAR list? I'm not entirely sure. Oh, hey, mateys. If needed, movies. Oh, fuck that. Hell no. I would never use this shit. I don't really trust. I don't really trust. Y'all, this is just a link of pirated streaming site. The reason I don't use those sites, I'm gonna explain. I have a reason why. Bluefin is beautiful, by the way. Yeah. So the reason I don't use these linking services, ITP Plus does not have a dedicated Raspbian package, but it is distributed in the jar format, so it should run on anything that has Java. Yeah, that would be the better way to explain it. It doesn't have a package. Maybe I misspoke. You just use a jar file. It's really easy to run. But the reason I don't use those sites is because they run ads, so they're just profiting from torrenting. Which I think it should just be a peer-to-peer. Most of the time they run ads. A lot of these jailbroken like Fire Sticks and stuff like that runs malware on them. A lot of these Android boxes that does this runs malware on them, or they're found to be running malware. Now, I dropped something in the Discord quite recently. This is actually much cooler. So if you have a lot of legally obtained media, you guys can just use this. So it's called Nomad. It provides the SP32 S3 provides enough performance to handle these requirements in a pocket-sized factor. You can watch movies, and there's some future. This is about 7 months old. It's going to have offline maps with GPS support. This is some future plans: retro gaming emulation, chat page, message board, collaborative whiteboard, sketch page, full CBZ comic support. You can watch movies. It kind of reminds me of the Pirate Box, but like much more smaller spectrum. As in Nomad BSD. I wish that'd be kind of cool. Downloading ITV Plus over Tor based. I stream movies on a Cinnamon QEM. I never thought those streaming sites were massive malware free. They have tons of ads on them. So I think that's kind of scummy. Like, you're not providing a service, you're just stealing and then profiting from it. I think that's like way grosser than just pirating and then seeding, for free. And people say like, oh, these people that then don't have access to it. How are they watching it? They're watching it on a device. Most modern, inexpensive, even the most cheapest Android on the planet can download a film and seed it. BitTorrent is completely free. And then you can go to the listed sites yourself. There's not really a point for any of these free sites to really exist at this point. Torrenting has more of a use case because you can torrent anything, and it's a peer-to-peer effort. I'm talking about the Fire Sticks that people get and all these other fucking boxes that people get to get free content. I am all for torrenting. I am just very, very lazy. Don't be lazy. Come on, man. It's one piece of software, and it's actually less work. You just look for the stuff that you want, and you go in, and you're like, hey, I'm gonna get a fresh Linux ISO. Actually, when you torrent stuff like Linux ISOs, you can just seed it. It costs nothing to seed. Seeding is free, besides bandwidth, I guess. But bandwidth is free because you're paying for your internet anyways. Bandwidth is free. And unless you... I mean, if you have... Let's see. I remember when Kick-Ass torrent. That was my shit. So I'm all for torrenting. I'm just very lazy. I should make a torrent VM. Very good idea, actually. I wanted to install high quality managed manga rather than shit quality on manga reading websites. Torrenting may come. I actually don't torrent. I don't pirate anything anime, and I don't pirate music. That's it. That's the only things I don't touch. It's kind of weird. People can do what they want. I'm all for game preservation. I'm all for people making those cool decisions. It's just something doesn't sit right with me. But I recently watched some ordinary gamers he did something that talked about piracy, and I really don't like his take. and it's very contradictory, or not really. It's just contradictory. It's very cringe. And I'm just gonna play for a second if I can find the specific part. And I mean, he still, dude, makes like 20-minute videos on something where he just repeats himself for 20 minutes, to be completely honest. Oh.
Hello, guys and gals. Me, Moodle.
I gotta find this part. It's like really bad. It's a bad take. He's like, I'm not for piracy or promoting piracy, and then it's like immediately afterwards he's like, I'm okay with it. You can't have. I don't know if I'm ever gonna find it. I think it was in the beginning.
Yeah. But to tell you ethically and morally, I actually don't know what to think.
Oh, yep, here it is. This is the part. This is the part that got me irated. We don't have Crunchyroll available. That's fair. And like I said, there's certain situations where I think it's completely okay for someone, especially if they live abroad, where they don't have access to this because whatever, insert bad government, or in a country where you don't have like a lot of money. I'm okay with it. I actually don't see an issue with it. I buy a lot of media. I just have I have zero issue with piracy. I ethically don't like doing musicians because musicians are just generally low paid. I don't do indie films because they already don't make enough money. And I generally don't do, and if I do something and I like it, I generally will go purchase other stuff made by that company.
After seeing some of the biggest tech companies.
Yeah, like it took this motherfucker like 13 years to or whatever, how long he's been on the internet to figure out big companies do this all the time and nothing happens to him. I got to ITP Plus installed on the Pi under the ITP user based.
It's going to be a bad time. Now, of course, spoiler alert, the cops never rated us, okay? Generally speaking, a lot of these sites will freak you out with those letters and tell you.
That's true. A lot of these sites do freak people out, and nothing will happen.
You should.
Unless you're doing tens of thousands of dollars in piracy. If you are, then yeah, you're going to be fucked.
Do this, but very rarely do I ever actually see.
Do I just run I2P router or no? So you go CD I2P router /.I2P router space start.
That rule being enforced. Now, all of this is not to say that piracy is right. Piracy is very illegal. It's very wrong, and I do not promote it at all on my channel. But to tell you ethically and morally, I actually.
And this is my problem. You can't, even if he's doing it for whatever reason, if it's some yellow Dolan or whatever, he doesn't want to get a copyright strike or his video demonetized or whatever. There's tons of channels that have said, hey, there is probably an ethically good reason to do piracy. And again, torrenting Linux ISOs under certain guidelines could be looked as you pirating something because you're taking something and distributing it. That's what piracy technically is. Even if I take a CD, I own this CD. It is my CD. I paid for the CD. Me making a copy of it is technically illegal. And if I distribute it to my friend, if I give it to my friend, that's illegal. What port is I2P? I can't remember. It's something. 444. I think it's 4444. 4444, I believe. But you have to configure your browser to connect to it. And that's my problem is people walk this line and say, I don't know if I could, I don't promote it, and if blah, blah, and it's how do you achieve game preservation without fucking pirating, bro? What do you mean? And you're for game preservation. That's you saying that you're okay with piracy. This is where I get angry. Because it's dude, you go on for 23 minutes and you fundamentally you have no issue with it. You can't be okay with game preservation without piracy. It's not possible. No one's going to do it ethically or legally. They're going to be I like this video game. I'm going to make copies of it. It's that simple.
Don't know what to think after seeing some of the biggest tech companies.
And if it takes big, shitty tech companies for you to see that, like, piracy has its place in society, that's crazy.
Have basically been blatantly doing it out in the open for the last year. So today we're going to
Not even the last year, for, like, a very long time. Big companies do this all the time. They take intellectual property right. You can actually, if you find out a company is using Windows keys illegally, you can get paid, like, a stupid amount of money. Companies pirate fucking software all the time. There's literally websites where you can just report them for pirating it. If you know they're doing it, it's nothing new. I know with the archive site. What's that big archive site? Not the Wayback Machine. The one that got into a lot of trouble. I think it was the Wayback Machine that got into trouble. Where is it? Archive.com, I think. They got in trouble because they were distributing books. NS Archive. Yeah, they were like distributing books and distributing it. They didn't get the license to do it. And people were like, oh no, poor. Who gives a fuck? Like, genuinely. Who cares? It's fucking books. There's tens of thousands of books that get probably scraped, and yes, it sucks, and yes, the creator is gonna fucking be bankrupt. No, he's not. They're not gonna get bankrupted tomorrow. It's not gonna fucking hurt them. We fundamentally have been pushed into a digital era where we don't have ownership and we don't have physical access to a lot of the stuff that we buy. And where do you draw the line between something is piracy, like in terms of piracy, where is it like, all right, I'm just being a leech and I don't want to pay for anything. That's kind of lame. That's more, I mean, it's kind of just gay at the end of it, and lame and stupid. If you have like the financial means, like, absolutely you should just buy the media if it's available. But if it's not available and you have no other option, what the fuck are you supposed to do? What? Sit there and watch YouTube, like the YouTube version cut into 3 different sections? Like, I don't get. And like, you can't promote, say you're against promoting piracy, but you're okay with game preservation. It's just not fucking the same thing. It's just not possible without people pirating. These companies aren't gonna fucking do it for you. That's like the thing that makes me like mad.
We'll look at some wild lawsuits. We're gonna look at some wild situations, and we're gonna look at some insane double standards. Okay?
They're not insane. They're not wild. They've been a thing for a long time. This is nothing new. That's what I'm saying. It's like this man just discovered the fucking internet. It's not new. It's not wild. It's just been a thing. Been a thing for. What's insane is people that are against piracy, and to a certain degree. Pirating enabled me to learn English when I was a child. Basically, pirating also provide. Yes, you hit the nail on the head. And I would even go as far as saying that when people are given stuff and they like the product, they're going to, in a sense, they might, when they have the money, they might buy it. They're like, wow, this was so good, I'm actually going to hand money. There's a ton of free open source software that I've used, and I liked it so much, I was like, wow, how can I donate to this person or buy the software? Because it was so fucking good. So I can continue to see it make, especially when, at the time when I got into free open source software, I didn't have a lot of money. I still don't have a lot of money, but I have more money than I did then. And when I had less money and I use this software, especially free and open source software that is now ingrained into my system, I now donate, when I can, my money to those people because they deserve it and they make good software. And I hope that continues their development in software. Not everything has to be piracy. Just doesn't lead to. I don't think the vast majority of people are leeches in piracy, where they are like, oh, I'm going to get this free software and I'm just going to leech. I mean, of course that exists, But my problem is Mudahar is like, I think he just wants to just rant into, like, I mean, that's pretty much 99% of YouTube. I think he just wants to rant into a camera for 20 minutes about something. Something that I think has been, like, if you've been in any circle of piracy, now I'm sounding like him, I'm just ranting. If you've been in any circle of piracy, this is nothing new. Big companies have been violating this and been getting away with it for a very long time. It's not crazy. And the fact that people think that it's a double standard is insane. We know this. It just has existed for so long. We know it exists and it will never stop. That's the point that I'm making.
Now, for anybody that's watching this video, one thing that you need to know before we start off with is what a shadow library is. Now, a shadow library is basically a pirate library or an online repository of freely available digital media that's normally paywalled, access controlled, or otherwise not readily available. To some extent, you know those anti-paywall sites where, like, you know, a news article is paywalled, so you throw it in there, and it gives you the unpaywalled.
Yeah, I used 12 foot. Like, here's a perfect example. I run an ad blocker. I'm pirating content at this point. I'm preventing the user from being able, like, I'm watching Mudahar's video. I run uBlock Origin. I run a VPN that blocks ads. I don't get ads on YouTube. I'm pirating, in theory, some ordinary gamer's video right now. He's not making $1 off me. He's not making any money off me. I'm not watching any ads. I'm getting nothing. He's making nothing. I'm doing this for free. In a sense, you could consider this as piracy. I'm taking content, I am enjoying it, I am watching it, and there was no exchange of money. Because he obviously is monetized and he runs ads on his YouTube channel. I haven't seen an ad in like fucking forever. So I could say, I'm not saying that this is right. Let me rephrase this. I'm not saying this is right. I'm not saying that the thing I'm saying is the definition. But to some YouTubers, this is considered piracy. Like, that would be the better way to put it. Because I don't agree with that. I think that's retarded. The I2P Plus proxy is apparently refusing connection. Can you show how to set it up in... Yeah. So in Firefox, with I2P, in Firefox, you have to point to the IP address. If you're not on the same machine, you have to point to the IP address and not localhost. Localhost is generally the easiest way to do it because it's running on your localhost, like your 192. Whatever. But all you have to do is go to your settings. You have to go to network. You have to make sure that's off. Network settings. And then you do manual proxy configuration. This. And then you just 44444. And then also use this proxy for HTTPS. And then, what is that third thing? You got to go to About Config. You got to go About Config, and then I think it's ICE or proxy. Media peer connection ICE proxy only. Yes. True. You have to switch it to true. This might be the one. This will be the one thing that will fucking probably stop it from working. It'll like refuse your connection. What is the main homepage that you see? You should see this. 127.0.1.1.1 at 7667./home. This is the main page that should pop up. Still refusing connection. Weird. It could be because you're on a separate machine. What are you on the Raspberry Pi yourself? I've never done it from an external machine. I've always had it on my main machine. You would have to put the IP address of the Pi if it's giving you a connection issue. I'm on the Cube's ThinkPad and ITP router is on the Pi. Your Cube's OS could be refusing the connection because of firewall, but you should be pointing your Firefox host at the IP address of your Pi. I think. I'm pretty sure. And not 127. I'm on the Cube's ThinkPad. Okay, interesting. Did you guys figure it out? Fucker. See if it'll work now. There we go. Do you think someone can self-become a sysadmin? Yeah, of course. It's gonna be more work. I mean, a lot of companies do something called HR filtering. And they will filter through all the bullshit where they don't have a degree. So you gotta become. You have to have a niche. You have to have a very big niche. You have to be very prepared to hear no. You know what I mean? A lot, or just not get calls. I mean, in Linux, the thing is, there's a million DevOps out there. You know what I mean? What makes you different? Why should I hire you? Like, all these people are, like, all these YouTube channels come out with, like, these success stories and, oh, we have, like, this core, like, it's all bullshit. They can't force they don't know your market. They don't know what companies are around you. They don't know how the like, they're just speaking out of their ass from their perspective. And that's why they make YouTube content. It's like, I've been hearing Nas all my adult life. My niche is I'm extremely persistent. So is a million other people. I'm not saying this in a mean way, but like, millions of people are persistent. They don't care. IT, and especially anything security or DevOps related, is, what's the word I'm looking for? Anything like that is a cost, and there's no return. They don't look at it. There is a return, but they look at it as a cost. Negative money. I'm always losing money on you. You are not producing money, etc., etc. You have to find the most in-demand goal, like the most in-demand idea in IT and just computers in general, the most in demand that people don't want to do, that you are going to be really good at. DevOps, anyone can learn fucking DevOps. There's tons of developers out there that are shifting toward DevOps because everyone keeps saying, all these YouTube channels are like, I mean, just look. Here's a perfect example. There's a bunch of really gross, shilly, I started in DevOps and I became a DevOps engineer in 6 months, and it's like 90. It's all bullshit. It's not to be negative. It's just bullshit. It's retarded. You're just gonna get filtered. You're gonna get raped through the HR filtering because a lot of companies require it. They want you to have a degree. They want you to have a thick ass resume. They want you to have 30 years of experience at 20 years old. There's real people in IT that like talk about this, that actually work in the industry, that make good money. Like, and we're like, oh, I was unemployed for like fucking like 8 months. Here, look at this. the complete DevOps roadmap. What DevOps? Like just all this content around DevOps. I became a DevOps. DevOps is dying. Like this guy's just absolute cringe. I watch some of their stuff because they give some good insight how stuff works, but their whole like become a DevOps person in 6 months. Cringe. You're competing. This is why they're doing YouTube. They're not doing DevOps. They're doing YouTube because they realize, oh, I can teach more on here. Yeah. This is the kind of slop that we run into. Guys, I used to be a drug addict. Now I'm a DevOps engineer. This guy was also a fucking nurse. Some of these people, like, they're the most out of touch. They're like, they had a career where they're making stupid money where they could take time off to do this. I got started working, but it's not accepting connections for the first 10 minutes. It's not going to. It's going to take some time. You need to get a very specific niche that no one wants to touch. You need to search for the shit that nobody wants to do. Generally, it's networking. Networking is like the most hated. No one wants to do networking. It's like probably the best field to get into. It still requires physical work because if you want to do cable, like in the United States, you can go do like MANs, WANs, LANs, whatever. You can do all the physical networking and make hella good money. No one wants to do it. It's not a fun job. You're like digging trenches to lay cable. It's literally a shitty job, like in terms of like physical activity. From the homepage, can access through HTTP, not proxied. Welcome to ITP Plus. Please be patient. Yes, you have to wait. And if it says firewalled, it doesn't matter because mine says firewalled and I can do it. It just takes, you have to let your tunnels build. Your tunnels have to build. And this isn't like to hate on like channels like this, but there's a ton of these channels. They're all like, how to become a DevOps person, stop wasting time doing DevOps, how to become cybersecurity expert in 6 months. All bullshit. There's a lot of bullshit on here because they want you to fucking watch their 8-minute video. Their 8-minute video. Conveniently 8 minutes. Wow. 8 minutes, and so you can get that mid-roll, the sweet mid-roll ads. Okay, I will let ITP run and let you know if it works tomorrow. Based, as you should. Sleep in ITP. So, all you need to know is get maybe a certification or two. Certifications are good. They say certifications are bullshit, but that's retarded. There are good, worth it certifications out there. And then find a niche. Find something that no one wants to do. And you will, and it has to be in demand. That's the key. Find something in demand that no one wants to do. And there's so many IT jobs out there. So many. There's too many to list. You can also start in the industry and bounce. Like tons of people bounce, like they learn new skills. But getting your foot in the door is the most important. Not the fucking dude with a job where they're making like already $100,000 a year, and they're like, guys, I was burnt out, and I decided to be, I am fucked. I dropped out of school. I'm currently focusing on AI toolchain development. Sure, but so is like a million other people. Anything AI related, you should learn AI. There's AI going to be used. Like you should know it. But there's like a million people already doing that. You again find something that interests you and niche it. Like, really find the most unappealing shit. Everyone's going to do something AI related. It's good to learn AI, but IT is such a competitive market. I can hire 30 people overseas for like $10 a day. Why the fuck would I pay someone in my country where they're costing me more money? Again, that can do this, where someone can do the same fucking job. And it's not to discourage anyone. That's just the reality of it. I've seen people like one of the best things you could learn is math. Like knowing how to do math, knowing how to do cryptography is always going to be needed. Knowing how to do cryptography, always going to be in demand. And no one wants to do it because it's a hard skill to learn. I studied math on school. I only know schizoid abstract math. Yeah, you can, if you know cryptography and you understand like very complex math, you can get definitely a lot more farther because it's very niche. And again, not everyone is good at math like at that level. That's a very specific niche subset of skills that you have to obtain and use. I mean, Proton's I think CEO is like a CERN. He's he graduated from CERN. He's like a huge math head. And some of the best people in like in cybersecurity and like in computer science and in just the computer world is all good at math. Like some of them are like just math people, and they decided how to figure out to like. I mean, some of the first programming languages was used for math. I believe it was Fortran. Fortran was like used as like a calculator or something. Most of it was geared towards math. Not obviously now it's different, but again, like you could even go as far as just learning like a specific type of database and be good for the rest of your life. I mean, some people just learn SQL and they get far. Or JavaScript. JavaScript is still needed. There's not enough JavaScript device. Or COBOL. COBOL's huge. Programming languages are just glorified calculators. Yeah. Yeah, that's actually a good way to look at it. It's like, hey, do this thing for me. I think COBOL is going to probably be very in demand because all the COBOL devs are fucking dying. And the vast majority of banking applications still rely on COBOL in the United States. It's huge. COBOL? I think I'm saying it wrong. But I know it's like super niche. It's not super niche. It's super niche, and it's still super in demand. I would even say that like it's kind of like getting on YouTube. YouTube is a very niche market. It's very saturated. Lots of people want to do it. Lots of people want to make money on it, and lots of people want to be successful. It's not easy, but if you get a niched market and you're really, really good at it, you can make a lot of money on YouTube and be successful. But a part of it is luck. A part of it is like you get lucky, the algorithm favors you. It doesn't matter if you make good content, to be completely honest. I agree that once you get traction, you should stick with it. But there's some sloppy, really lame content on here that garners like millions of views. Already have 20 peers, well, based as you should. So that's like one issue is there's a lot of sloppy content on here that gets tons of views, and it's like super low effort. And because of that, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter in that sense. But if you find a really good niche, you can do this those generally will burn out and they won't be good long term. But people that have been on YouTube for like 10 to 15 years, that's a long time and are still successful. I mean, you got to think you're competing with millions and millions of people. So you got to find a niche. You got to be really good at it, and you got to like kind of run with. Once you figure out like a flow. What makes you the most views, what makes you the most retention, most people will stick to. Need to be smart and create small passive income resources. Yeah, that's smart. Like, you should do that in general. I don't think you should rely fully on YouTube. That's retarded. But there are YouTubers that do that, and then they start e-begging. Not like, I'm not saying it in like a derogatory way, but they start e-begging because they've relied on YouTube for so long, and they scale up their business to like having 50 editors or like a fucking studio. I think most YouTubers don't need a studio. That's my hottest take. I disagree that YouTubers should take on a lot of cost. I think they should take out on the minimal cost. You literally have a job that's paying you a lot of money. I think most YouTubers could forfeit the fucking amount of sponsorships they have to take. I mean, look at a Linus Tech Tips video. They have to take so many sponsorships because Linus just probably bad with his money, and he also like has like 50 editors and 500 like 300 like 3 homes or some shit. I'll admit that like the thing I like about I think Summon Nerdy Gamers is because he does all the editing himself, and he doesn't have a studio. He just does everything in his fucking house. And there's other YouTubers that do this. I'm like, this is great. This is genius. This is you keep your head overhead low so that you don't have to take 50 sponsors like every fucking every segment sponsor. Some of these slop channels where they just do trauma like tea from their fucking house. I don't get why they take all these fucking sponsors when they're like relatively. I think they're just kind of greedy at that point. I mean, there's a lot of really scummy sponsors that I see that I just don't like. But you should be smart with your YouTube money, and you should definitely. I need to go to dark mode. My eyes are burning. You should be smart with YouTube money. Your YouTube money and put it to work for you. Absolutely. I think a lot of YouTubers should start taking financial literacy courses. I see you have an OPSEC guide. In my mind, you and RTP Tech Tips are separated from all their content creators on YouTube. There's some good ones out there. Guides are kind of hard, but I think people need to. I think they're. I mean, my channel started as a joke, and I just kept going. And I think it's important. I think privacy is important. And I think there should be content on the internet besides just one channel. And there's some channels I disagree with. But that's what makes it healthy. You're not supposed to agree in this space. Now, there are some things that are probably like objectively wrong that need to be corrected. And there are things that need to be fixed in the privacy and security space. And there should be people that should have input. But we're also at a time where people are like schizophrenic and they are... virtue signaling a bunch of bullshit. That's my problem. They're like, Facebook is listening to your conversations right now. It's like, okay, sure, whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's you didn't really add anything. Good. People are still going to use Facebook. Don't care. So I think we need pragmatic approaches, but we also need like some common sense. And there's things that I've been wrong about. I'm okay to admit that. That's fine. But what also I'm okay is like I was wrong about something very silly. Like Graphene OS, I thought you had to have Google Play services installed in order to do private spaces. You don't. So you can obtain an even more compartmentalized version of the Google Play services just on private spaces. You don't need Google Play services installed by default. And it's a way to separate and not always be locked into the Google ecosystem. So there are things that I've just like been wrong about. Correct, and if people want to correct me, that's completely fine. And I think people should take my advice with a grain of salt and just apply it to what they see fits for their life. In general, and I think most people should. You know better for yourself what works for you in your digital life than anyone else. I mean, I think poisoning the well of your information is more better out there than it is to constantly think about deleting it. Because if you poison it and it's just a bunch of random information, no one really cares. And I learned that from a book. I didn't come up with this idea. I learned it from a really good book out there, and it was just kind of like one of those things. Oh, wow, 2 hours. All right, guys. I appreciate everyone stopping in and giving me 2 hours of my time to everyone. Thank you for joining me on this Saturday, learning about CubesOS and learning about yourself. I2P Plus is refusing connection from the Firefox and has a proxy, but not from Brave, but that doesn't have the proxy. See if you can set it up on Brave. I'm not entirely sure. I'll look. I'll search through some documents and send it in the Discord chat. See you later, Code. Appreciate stopping by, and I appreciate everyone else stopping by. And remember to leave in the comments what your favorite continent is, and if it's not South America, what your favorite continent is. And if it's not South America, you're gonna go to Bad Juju Voodoo jail for 500 years. Don't forget to walk your snail, and don't forget to share and like the video so YouTube knows I'm a real and enjoyable person. I love all their policies and nothing is wrong with them. See y'all later.